Welcome back to the Hood News Fantasy Football Podcast. This is week 13, starts and sits. I got one of my dogs with me here, BBTB,
You're
and I'm your host, Keem, as usual. MFB couldn't make it. He's flying out to see his family for Thanksgiving, so couldn't make it to this episode. But we're going to give you guys his starts of the week are here. We'll call them out. We will give our own opinion on the starts or sits, and he cannot defend himself. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yep.
BBTB is excited to make fun of every one of his starts and sits.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and start off with the QB start of the week. BBTB, why don't you go ahead and start us off, man?
Oh yeah. 1 second. Oh, all right. Chilling. I was high on this guy preseason. You know what I'm saying? Thought he's gonna be that dude. Didn't turn out to be that dude. He got benched a couple times, but he picked it up last week. I'm gonna go Bryce Young. Bryce Young looked good, especially against a really good Chiefs defense. And they play Tampa Bay next week. And Tampa Bay gives up the third to quarterbacks, so which is a good thing. And Bryce Young just looked really good, so I feel like Bryce Young could be a solid streamable quarterback if somehow you need to stream this week, because there's no buys, but if you still need to stream. But I feel like Bryce Young should be solid.
This is a crazy call. I'll be honest. I will give you props if this hits. I see your logic. Hopefully you don't have to start Bryce Young in your leagues.
Mhm.
But if you do, best of luck, and you have BBTB's blessing. So best of luck to you. My start of the week for QB is Justin Herbert. He had an eye game last week. That was mostly due to all the drops from Quentin Johnston. If you watched that game against Baltimore, he needed more help. Didn't get it. They ended up losing that game. But this week, they're playing Atlanta, who gave up, I think, 4 touchdowns to Bo Nix. So
Yeah,
I think
crazy.
I think Justin Herbert can do better. I think he will bounce back, and kind of with a vengeance. He's coming back. Well, not with a vengeance, but he's coming back. He's going to bounce back from that not so great performance. Hopefully Quentin Johnston gets some, what is it called? Like the sticky glue or something on his gloves. I don't know. Something to catch the ball right top.
Deco.
Something. Yeah. Whatever it takes, man. Anyways, start Justin Herbert this week. He should do great.
Yeah.
MFB's start of the week for QB is CJ Stroud. I cannot explain. He didn't give us an explanation, but they're playing the Jaguars. That's pretty much the explanation. We've always said target Jaguars for QBs, receivers. Their secondary is pretty soft. So Jaguars coming off a bye. They were thinking about shutting down Trevor Lawrence because of that AC joint issue, but I think he's still practicing and set to play on Sunday, but we'll see. Either way, that secondary soft, so that's an easy start for CJ Stroud, who has been pretty whatever lately.
Mm-hmm.
But with Nico Collins back in the mix, back to full health, I think it should be a fine start.
Yeah, and I feel like you want Trevor Lawrence to play, though, because Trevor Lawrence will actually make it a game, like personally better than Mac Jones.
Yeah.
But if you have Mac Jones playing, it probably might not be a game, so you might have a blowout kind of thing, but hopefully it's not. But CJ Stroud's a solid start.
I like to start more if Trevor Lawrence is playing. I still think
Exactly.
Stroud can do his thing, but if they get ahead, if Mixon breaks off a tackle and scores, a long touchdown, then CJ Stroud's fantasy points total is going to be less for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That does it for QB starts. Let's move into wide receiver starts. BBTB starts off again.
Yeah. It's a correlation with MFB. I'm going with Tank Dell. I believe Tank Dell, he's been whatever lately. He hasn't been going crazy, but I feel like this should be the game that he should break out. I have him finishing like wide receiver 1 this week.
Okay. Yeah, Tank Dell's been he's been not been posting great numbers. With Nico Collins back, I think he's getting less targets. Nico Collins came back week 11, I believe. So I thought Nico Collins being back would help him kind of draw the defense away from Tank Dell. And they can kind of do. He can kind of do what he did last year when it was just him and Nico Collins with Stephon Diggs on IR for the year.
Mm-hmm.
But against the soft Jacksonville secondary, I do also like this one more if Trevor Lawrence is playing for Jacksonville because the game gets competitive or more competitive, you know. So
That's true, but I feel like still, I think Tank Dell should be solid. I like what's a podcast episode without a BBTB hot take. So BBTB hot take. This is going to be Tank Dell's best game of the season.
okay, all right, let's wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
My wide receiver start of the week is a player that you probably are starting every week, but has not been performing. He's been underwhelming. He started off the season really great and has not produced really in the last few weeks. It's Malik Neighbors, who now has to deal with, I think it's Drew Lock. So
Oh, they announced it?
No, but the reports are saying that Tommy DeVito is trending towards not playing. And the reason I put Neighbors as start of the week, I mean, Neighbors he's been averaging over 10 targets a game, like throughout the season. So last week, he had 0 targets before the half. So he had 9 targets in the second half alone, right? With Tommy DeVito. If you saw the post game, like press conference, he was complaining. He said, look, I didn't get targeted in the first half. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, they're not getting me the ball. I don't know what to tell you. He was visibly frustrated, visibly annoyed, also smacking gum really hard. It was kind of crazy. I was like, but he's clearly frustrated with this offense, with the team. Daniel Jones was not doing it for him. They put in Tommy DeVito, and he even said, I know we're trying to tank, but come on. Like, I'm not even getting targeted in the first half, not once. Like, come on. And so I think Tommy DeVito is fine. I think they're making up some excuse to let Drew Lock go out there and make this more of a game. It's a divisional game against Dallas. I think this is going to be Malik Neighbors' like bounce back game, back to what we were used to seeing from him in the first few weeks.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's a Thanksgiving Day game, so we'll see soon enough. On to MFB's wide receiver start of the week. It's Ladd McConkey.
Man, such an obvious start. Boo MFB. Boo if you're seeing this, bro.
He's not going to listen to this episode. But they're playing the Falcons. It goes along with my QB start of the week. It's a good. I would start Ladd McConkey if I have. He did solid last week against the Ravens, but yeah, Ladd McConkey's been one of the better rookies this year. He's really stepped up in that offense where they didn't really have like a number one. He's kind of stepped up and taken on that role.
Yeah, obvious start. Too easy.
I mean, Neighbors is a pretty obvious start, but yeah, he's been underperforming. That's why I put him in because I think.
But there's a difference between underperforming and McConkey been doing his thing though.
Yeah, I put him in because I felt like he complained and the team said, okay, let's do something about it, and they're making Drew Lock be the starter of this game, and they're saying Tommy DeVito's dealing with some issue, and bro, it came out of nowhere. Nothing happened during the game. He was fine during the entire game. Suddenly, it pops up injury report. Suddenly, he's trending toward not playing on Thanksgiving. I think they're like, we need to make this game competitive. We need to give Neighbors the ball and let him ball out.
Yeah.
So that was my take. We'll see. On to RB starts of the week. I'll start us off with Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb against the Steelers last week had himself a game, 2 touchdowns. I think he keeps it up. He had his highest snap share of the season so far. They're playing the Broncos. The Broncos are hard to throw on. I think he's going to get going on the ground, and they're starting to put him in more and they're starting to let Chubb work more and get him more involved, give him more snaps as he's coming back off that injury.
Yeah, that's solid. Chubb looked really good last week, especially in the snow. But I don't know. It was a running game once the snow started to kick in heavy in the second half of last week. So things could be a little different. But I feel like Chubb should be a decent flex this week.
Yeah. On to MFB's start of the week, Jonathan Taylor. I did talk to MFB about it. He said it's a bounce back game for JT. They're playing the Patriots.
He should.
Yeah. He called him out I think twice, 2 weeks
I
in a row.
called him out. I called him out last week.
You called him out last week. He called him out the week before. So we called sit Jonathan Taylor 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
this should be his bounce back game
Should be.
against New England. We'll wait and see what happens. BBTB, give us your RB start of the week.
I'm going for a dude that's looking for his revenge for the dude that gave up on him. The dude that was killing it, but his touchdowns were getting poached by Jamal Williams. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift got some unfinished business. He's obviously seeing the touches, the rush shares. Caleb looked really good last week. I called out DJ Moore. Yo, play DJ Moore last week. Obvious hit, you know? And DeAndre Swift averaging around like I think 15 rush attempts a game the past five games. So I feel like DeAndre Swift can get some yards and could punch it in the end zone.
Yeah. Detroit defense is tough, man.
They're
I could
tough, but I got DeAndre Swift running like a madman tomorrow. That man's gonna be on one. This homie gonna wake up and he gonna be pissed.
you don't on Thanksgiving Day? Mad,
He ain't giving back, bro. He ain't giving back. He gonna be
he's mad that he's not with his fam eating turkey and chilling.
yeah, bro. Exactly.
I mean, I guess. You're not scared of Roshan Johnson poaching touchdowns from him?
Nope. Swift revenge game. They're feeding that man.
All right.
Dump offs, all that.
All right. We might see it. We'll see on Thanksgiving Day. All right. Moving on to tight end starts of the week. I'll start us off with my tight end start of the week, Pat Freiermuth. He has not been doing so well lately. And so they're playing the Bengals. I think that he comes back, he bounces back, and has himself a decent game this week against the Bengals, who have not been very good against tight ends. And their defense just overall has not been very good, at least through the air. Run defense is solid, but I think that Pat Freiermuth finds the end zone, has himself a decent game, decent enough for fantasy.
Yep. Like that. Bengals defense has not been good all year, giving up a lot of points. That's why they're 4-7. So I like that a lot.
Let's give MFB's tight end start of the week. It's K. Dotton, and the Bucs are playing against the Panthers. This one's pretty straightforward. K. Dotton has been solid all year. Last week he did have a dud week, so him bouncing back against Carolina makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Divisional game, so yeah, he should be just fine. Baby TB, give us your tight end start of the week.
My tight end start of the week is going to be Zach Ertz. I've called him out 2 weeks in a row, by the way, and he's hit 2 weeks in a row. So I feel like the third week he's still going to keep it up. I don't see the drop off on him because it's pretty much Terry McLaurin and him. Like that's just what the games that I've pretty much been seeing. I know they play Tennessee. Tennessee gives up the 25th, so it's not so good for the tight end. But I feel like the targets have been attracting Zach Ertz very, very well the past 4 or 5 weeks besides one game. So, yeah, Zach Ertz.
Yeah, he's had more than 7 targets in 4 of his last 5 games. So yeah, he's been getting targets.
Yeah.
That Giants game they didn't really need to throw that much. They kind of shut him down.
Yeah.
Moving on to the bonus starts of the week. My bonus start is an interesting one. Jerry Jeudy, Monday night revenge game against his old team.
I
Let him go. They didn't want him there. They said, we want young rookies. He said, all right, fine. I'll go. He's in Cleveland now on the Browns and dealing with a backup quarterback, but he's going to do his thing. He's been the best receiver on the team the last 2 weeks. Cedric Tillman kind of disappeared. I called him out last week to be the start of the week, and he got injured and fumbled as well. So Jerry Jeudy's number 1 there now. I think he has himself a solid game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy call. I like it though. It's a crazy call because he's playing PS2 on the other side of the ball.
But they were teammates last year, and now this year he's coming back for revenge. He's going to try and get himself a touchdown.
Yeah, and he didn't leave a good reputation at the end of that season, by the way. I don't know if you remember like press conferences and him just not trying to really play ball like that. He just wasn't really like feeling it, and so he wanted out, got
I
out,
mean,
got his contract,
yeah, Russell
and then
Wilson's quarterback. I
he's
don't
got
blame
something
him.
to prove.
100%.
So
100%.
I like that.
Yeah. MFB's bonus start of the week is Darnell Mooney, who is playing against who are they playing against?
Yeah, look it up. I'm blanking.
Yeah, me too. I wish MFB was here to tell us. But
Chargers.
okay. Yeah, they're playing against the Chargers, which had been very good at stopping the run, but not so good against the passing. So it's probably going to be you making a face. I made a
I don't
face
like
too.
the start. I'll be honest. I don't like the start. Fool's dealing with the Achilles, hamstring. I don't know. Like Chargers got a decent defense.
He could bounce back though. He had a terrible game against Denver. I think he got injured in that game. He got injured in that game against Denver. That's why he's dealing with an issue right now.
Maybe.
It was a hamstring. It was a hamstring issue. Yeah. If he plays, that's MVB's bonus start of the week.
I'd be on the safer side and sit him. I'll be honest. Just safer.
All right. MVB's not here to defend himself, unfortunately.
Sorry, I'm a B.
Give us your bonus start of the week.
Bonus start of the week is going to correlate with my QB, Bryce Young. I'm going to go Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, I know he's been back only for one game since his injury, but brother, he is playing like a veteran. Like he understands what he needs to do to help Bryce Young out. I'm not even kidding. How to create space, how to help him like get the ball to where it needs to go. And literally he created 2 pass interference penalties to help them almost win that game, by the way. And so I think
you got all that from last game?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's off of one game. But versus the Chiefs, though, if I was talking about the Raiders, okay, cool. It's the Raiders, shitty defense. Sure. But we're talking about Chiefs' top 3 defense, dude. They made them look like they were bottom 3 defense. So I think Adam Thielen could have self a game, division rival too. Also, from the Saints' perspective, we need the Panthers to win. So
you're hoping he has a game?
Not hoping. I do. I genuinely believe Bryce Young and Adam Thielen have a game.
All right. Yeah. Hey, this is. I would put this in your hot take category.
Hot take, yeah. Oh, for sure. Hot take.
I mean, they've been the.
If you need a flex this week, flex Adam Thielen. Like if somehow he's still on your waivers, flex Adam Thielen. Because he's rostered how many leagues? Let me check.
Check that number real quick for us. But yeah, it's a bit of a hot take. Bryce Young has been bouncing back.
28%. He should be in your league. 28%.
Should be available, yeah. If you need someone this week, maybe look to Adam Thielen if you have no other options. Or if you just don't have that many good options. That'll do it for the starts of the week. Let's move into the sits of the week. Starting off with QBs. My QB sit this week is Jared Goff. They're playing against the Bears, who have been a very good defense this year. They lost last game and they took it to overtime and still lost. And Jared Goff, when he doesn't need to throw the ball, he just won't. You know, they played against Jacksonville 2 weeks ago and he had himself a game. But the game before that, he threw 5 interceptions against the Houston defense. And I think that most of the work is going to come through the ground. Jahmyr Gibbs, Dave Montgomery, ground and pound, and then the air yards will be there, but I don't think he scores a lot of touchdowns. I think he has a couple turnovers, and I think he ends up with a mediocre fantasy performance.
I don't know, man. Just because, I mean, I don't want to reveal MFB's start of the week or sit of the week, but his sit of the week is Caleb Williams, right? So, and they play each other. One of y'all is wrong. I'm just letting you know. One of y'all is getting it right. It's either.
Why does it have to be one of us? Why can't it be both of us? Just sit both QBs. That's actually very likely to happen, though.
I understand, but Goff, look, Caleb Williams has been playing. He played a lot better against Minnesota. Okay, if Caleb Williams keeps that up against, I know Detroit is a fire defense, but if Caleb Williams plays really well Goff is going to need to throw the ball. So what I'm saying is if Caleb Williams is trash, so it's either Caleb Williams trash and then Goff is not needed. But if Caleb Williams is solid, then Goff is going to be needed. So technically, it's both of y'all are right or both of y'all are wrong. I'm just
We'll have
saying.
to wait and see. But yeah,
I don't know. It's a
BUTB
crazy
revealed.
one.
BUTB revealed MFB's sit of the week. It's Caleb Williams on the other side. So there's a universe where we're both wrong, we're both right, or one of us is right, one of us is wrong.
It can't be one of one though. I'm realizing it has to be two right, two wrong.
Well, no, technically, Goff could have himself a game, and then Caleb Williams doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like right now, Goff's projection's at 15. Like, are we happy at 15?
No, definitely not. I think he gets
Okay.
like 10, maybe
And I'm
maybe
saying,
13. I think he salvages his day with a touchdown toss to Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs takes to the house, and then that like boosts his value and gives him like 13 fantasy points. I don't think he gets more than 13.
Okay.
There should be better options out there on your waivers. I would play Bryce Young over Jared Goff.
I love that. I love that.
Go. BBTV, give us your sit of the week for QB.
I'm gonna sit my boy Gino. He's not really my boy. Don't even know him like that. But I'm gonna sit him versus the Jets. He had a whatever win last week against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals defense is kind of whatever. Jets defense is
whoa.
Yeah, like whatever, bro. Like whatever. But I feel like the Jets defense is like their secondary solid. Okay. So their secondary is kind of solid. Brees Hall's been picking it up. He's the homie that's been going crazy. So, what am I talking about Brees Hall for? Talking about what's his name? The other homie. Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is solid. So because the Jets have been struggling to stop the run. But so I think Geno Smith has like a whatever game this week. So I think you could sit Geno Smith. I'd probably avoid him. Start Bryce Young over Geno Smith.
What about, the Jets defense has not been very good. They are coming off a bye, so maybe they figured some things out. But we saw Kyler Murray go to work on them and then get shut down by the Seahawks in divisional matchup. So recently, or over the last few games, the Jets defense has not been very good unless they figured something out on their bye week and now they're back to good form. I think Geno Smith might do solid against them, but we'll have to wait and see.
I beg to differ because Kyler Murray scored 2 rushing touchdowns, and I don't think Geno Smith is scoring a rushing touchdown. If Geno Smith scores a rushing touchdown, brother, I'm quitting the Hood Knees podcast. Plain and simple. That man is not rushing.
Some people are going to be wishing for that one.
I'm just saying, he doesn't get those 2 rushing touchdowns, and then you have to minus how many yards that is. He's dropping 14 fantasy points. So I think Geno Smith is going to drop less than 15. I feel like there's better options. Like I have Bryce Young dropping a 20-point game. So I feel like you go Bryce Young.
Yeah. Reminder to everyone, there's no bye weeks this week. Everyone's playing. So there should be players available for you to pick up if need be in your leagues. Moving on to the wide receiver sits of the week. I'll start us off with my wide receiver sit this week is Deebo Samuel. He has not been good. Last week, they had a backup quarterback, so understandably so. He didn't do very hot. They are playing against Buffalo, who's been very good at stopping receivers. Their secondary is very strong, and they're playing in the snow. Buffalo, for some reason, it gets so cold over there, it snows all the time, and they still don't have a dome stadium. It's still open. It's going to be snowing. We saw last week with the Pittsburgh Browns game that it was difficult for people to get going through the air. I don't think Deebo has himself a decent game. I think if you can sit him this week, find another option.
Yeah. Love it. Plain and simple.
Even if you don't have another option and you're just going to play Deebo, temper your expectations. They might do some jet sweep sort of thing that they always do with him and he makes his way into the end zone. That's always a possibility. But
no,
I don't think he does very good this game. You make the decision at your own discretion.
You know what? I'll make the decision for you. Play Adam Thielen over Debo Samuel. Very simple.
We'll see after this weekend how good of a take that was.
Mhm.
I'm going to go ahead and just shout out MFB's sit of the week. It's just the other side, Amari Cooper or Khalil Shakir. He said to sit him basically for the same reasons. It's a snow game. So you just
Man, which
don't.
one is it, bro? Which one is it? I hate this. Amari Cooper, Khalil Shakir, bro.
I would sit Amari Cooper. I would rather start Khalil Shakir because Khalil Shakir plays. Didn't he play up the slot?
He does.
Yeah, and I think the short like passes are a lot easier to complete, even in the snow, than Amari Cooper was going to be trying to run up the field more.
No, because I was watching the Steelers game last week, and brother Calvin Austin had a crazy tutty last week, like a 35-yard tutty from Russell Wilson, and then there was another nice tutty. I think on the Brown side, besides or not a tutty, it was a nice pass, and then Nick Chubb ran it in. I don't know, man. I'm loving Amari Cooper. The only reason why is because before the bye week, he literally said, I said it like 2 weeks ago, but he literally said that he's so happy to be on a team like this. He's never been on a team like this where the win just feels so good. And homie didn't do nothing that game. I think it was week 11. He did nothing. Had one or two catches and literally
I
and
mean,
he was,
people drafted him 5th round, 4th round, pretty early in the draft. People probably traded him after the news or traded for him after the news that he's going to Buffalo. So yeah, people are looking or trying to decide, do I start Amari Cooper? Do I not?
Mhm.
So you're saying don't sit him?
I'm just not the fan of the sit.
All right. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. Let's not waste too much time on MFB's sit. He
Yeah.
can't even defend himself. On to BBTB's wide receiver sit of the week. Go ahead, BBTB.
Sit Devontae Adams, dude. Homie, like he's good, bro. He just doesn't have a connection with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, man. He's just probably just trying to get his salary, just trying to play these last few games because they obviously know these fools are not making playoffs. Seattle's been whatever, I don't know. I feel like Seattle's been the most inconsistent kind of defense. Like 1 week, like they'll do solid, and 1 week they're just getting smacked by the Giants. Like obviously it's like a very up and down trend. What I'm trying to say. But I feel like Seahawks plays really good next week, and Devontae Adams should get less than double it. Could be a
Okay.
Garrett Wilson game.
Okay. Are we sitting Devontae Adams in our league, the ESPN league?
Oh,
We have
I
Devontae
gotta check
Adams.
that. I gotta check that. I
Yeah,
gotta
check our
check that.
lineup, see if you have any other options. We have
Yeah,
Devontae Adams. Are we sitting him?
yeah.
Let's move on to RB sits of the week at the top. Actually, BBTV, give us your sit of the week for RB.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit David Montgomery. And the reason why I'm gonna sit David Montgomery is that man is beat, bruh. That homie deal with shoulder injury, knee injury, quad, hamstring, ankle, everything, And so this man is beat up. He needs at least he should rest. I'm being so real. This fool literally should rest this week because he has the postseason coming up. Gibbs looks really good. He looks healthy. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a Gibbs game tomorrow. So I think you sit David Montgomery.
Look, bro, I'm getting tingly because I need to win this week and I have Jahmyr Gibbs. So I like this take. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
this is
yeah.
what happens. But to be 100% real for a second here, I think Montgomery plays. He's going to play through injuries. He's a dog. He likes to get out there. He likes to get on the field and to run into people and take people with him, drag defenders with him. He's nuts, bro. He's just a very aggressive player, and I think he will get out there. The only way I think this ends up being a good sit is if he gets injured or he tweaks something, or if they're up by enough, they just sit him because they're like, we're just going to rest him.
Well, brother, his body's so beat that he could literally leave the game early. And I think that's what he did last week, by the way. He left the
He
game
did.
early.
He injured his shoulder, sat out, came back on the sideline though, still in uniform. So
I guess, but it's like, why are you doing that? Like
because
you got Gibbs. Like it's not like you got like a RB4.
at the end of
Like,
the day, these people are like, it's not ultimate. It's ultimately up to the coach, right? But at the end of the day, these guys are human. They have feelings. They want to play. They want to get in there.
I
And
guess.
if the coach tells them like, "Oh, you can't," sorry, he's gonna be annoyed. He's gonna be like, "Bro, what? Let me go out there. Like, what do you know what I mean?" So, kind of being a coach for a team, I'm sure involves a lot of like not mind games, but you got to work with your players. You know what I mean? You can't just
100%, 100%.
you can't if in your mind you're like, no, I'm gonna sit Montgomery this week. I'm gonna let him rest because he's been injured like lately. But Montgomery's like, I want to get out there. I feel fine. You know what I mean? And it's hard. So there's like that back and forth. I don't know. I think if he gets injured, it will end up. Yeah, this is a good sit. If
Hmm.
he doesn't and he's fine, I think he's going to do just fine. He's going to take all the goal line work. He's, you know, I mean, Jameer Gibbs gets to the 5 yard line. He whoop Montgomery time and just goes in there,
Yeah.
which usually is the case. But we'll have to wait and see. But we won't have to wait too long because it's a Thanksgiving game and it's the first one. So
Hmm.
on to my RB sit of the week. I put Josh Jacobs, and this is an interesting take, but the Dolphins defense is actually playing very well. They last week they played against the Patriots. Let's be honest, the Patriots offense isn't that good, but they completely shut down Ramondre. I think that team is playing. They need to win out to get a chance at making playoffs. Tua's looking good. He threw 4 touchdowns last week. I think I put him as my sit of the week, and he proved me wrong entirely.
Hmm.
He went
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
He went. I mean, yeah, 4 touchdowns, man. I can't. Yeah, he threw for what was like 300 yards, 350 yards or something. I don't know.
Something like crazy.
He
I
had
think
a
it was
suffering
QB1
game.
last week. He was
He
QB1 last week.
he was not QB1 last week.
I think we had him on the Sons of Duds QB1s. No,
He was
am I
in the
tripping?
studs, bro. But he had 300 yards, 350 or 317 yards, 4 touchdowns. Anyways,
Oh, he was
I
the
think
number
that
two. Number two. He's
that
right.
team that team is looking to win. The defense also has to step up as much as the offense has to step up. So they have been playing well. Defense has been doing solid. They are playing Jordan Love, but I think the Dolphins get ahead and the Packers need to start throwing. When they need to start throwing, the run game is out the window, and then Josh Jacobs gets less rush attempts.
Um, Absolutely hate the take. I think you should start Josh Jacobs. That man's being fed the ball. That ball's being pushed down the field very, very well by Jordan Love and obviously the running game. Once they get within the goal line, then it's Josh Jacobs' time. It ain't no Emmanuel Wilson. It ain't no Ugga Wunga Boonga. You know what I'm saying? 3 rushing touchdowns
What
last
was
week.
that?
I'm just saying, bro. I think Josh Jacobs should be solid. I'm
All
just
right,
being
all
real.
right, all right. Hey, we all have our takes. You don't. If you have Josh Jacobs, when we say let's rephrase this. When we say sit of the week, we're not saying like this player do not start them under any circumstance or like they are going to not perform.
Mhm.
We're saying that they're likely not going to meet the expectation. So in these cases, we say like Dave Montgomery, sit Dave Montgomery this week. Realistically, if you have Dave Montgomery, there are probably not many players on your bench that you're like, oh yeah, I feel a lot more confident with this player than Dave Montgomery. You're going to go with Josh Jacobs. You draft him in the 3rd round or maybe the 4th round if the league is very unaware, but
Mhm.
you probably drafted him early. He's your top RB, one of your top RBs. You're starting Josh Jacobs, but I'm saying limit expectations. BBTB is saying, "Nah, you're good. He's going to go off." So if he does, enjoy. If he doesn't, I told y'all.
Mhm.
Anyways, on to MLB's sit of the week for RB. It is James Conner. He is he did not have a good game last week. They played a divisional game. Minnesota has been good against the run. So MLB is calling out that James Conner is going to just not get it done.
Yeah, it's tough to call. Yeah, he's just been very inconsistent this season, man. Like a couple weeks, like a few weeks he looks good, and then some weeks he's just not getting the touches. And I don't even know, man. I hate having a player like this. So I don't know.
Yeah,
He should be
consistency.
solid though. Like realistically, he should be
Minnesota's been
solid.
really good against the run, so
100%. But Minnesota secondary is not that great, so the ball should be pushed down the field. Connor should get in the end zone. Like, but if somehow he doesn't get in the end zone, like I feel like it's on Connor. You know what I'm saying? Not on the team. Because, well, trust me, that's going to be a really good like offensive game. Like
yeah,
whatever the over under is on. Well, what is the over under? Check that real quick.
check that out. We're gonna let's get this
Hold on.
episode
Yeah, yeah.
moving. Let's jump into tight end sits of the week. I'll start us off in that game. Actually, it's TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson's been having himself. He's been doing pretty solid over the last few weeks. They play the Cardinals. Cardinals have not given up a lot of points to the tight end, and I think that in this game they lock him up. Justin Jefferson said last week he had himself a dead game, and he said either I go off or my team goes off. Last week, Hawkinson did solid, so that was part of the team going off. I think this week Justin Jefferson demands the ball, he goes off. TJ Hawkinson gets 6 fantasy points tops.
I see where you're coming from, but I think TJ Hawk can get in the end zone on this one. I just feel like the over under right now is 45 and a half. That's kind of a high over under. Talking about like if teams were to finish, like what, 22 points and 25 points. You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Yeah.
it's like 25-21. So it's like that's still like people getting in the end zone.
To remind everyone, MFB said this week Justin Jefferson gets 210 plus yards and 2 touchdowns.
In 2 touchdowns.
That
That's
was what
incredible.
MFB said. We'll have to wait and see.
The thing is, though, I have this game being like a passing game. Like seriously, like I think you start everybody. As crazy as it may sound, I think you start TJ Hawk.
You probably start
Big
everyone because of
you have no other
the
option.
probability of them having a game like any of these guys. But I don't know. Let's move on to MFB's tight end sit of the week on the exact other side of the football field. Trey McBride, tight end sit of the week.
I don't like that.
Has something against Cardinals players. James Conner, Trey McBride. He's just a hater. You know what? I don't even know who the tight end is for Denver. Never mind. But yeah, I just
it's
who's Cruel or something. I don't know, man. Either way,
no, I thought it was Valentine.
You're not starting a tight end from Denver.
Yeah.
Either way, look. Minnesota does not give a lot of points to the tight end position, so that's understandable, and I see where he's coming from. MFB's nickname is Spreadsheet Slammy, right? This guy is all about the numbers, the sheets, the blah, blah, blah,
statistics
and things like that. So he probably saw some very interesting statistic about Minnesota and the tight ends and how they don't allow yada, yada, yada. I don't even know, but he's not here to explain it. So MFB's been pretty spot on his sits. I hope he's wrong on this one. I'll be honest.
Hey, BBTB hot take. Every single sit of MFB is wrong. They're all either hitting their projection or going higher. Why?
Wait till you hear his bonus sit. BBTB, give us your tight end sit of the week.
Okay. So you're obviously going to start this guy because he's technically the tight end 1 of the year. Probably got him the 5th round. But George Kittle. If Brock Purdy does not play, okay.
All right, throw that caveat in there.
I'm just saying, you got Allen in there, okay? Brandon Allen, whatever. Kittle got a lucky tutty last week. Okay, I saw it. It was lucky. I don't like it. He's not doing that again if Allen's in. And if Purdy's in, Buffalo has a really good defense. This is Kittle's single-digit game. Kittle is getting a single-digit number right underneath his name.
Look, I mean, I put Debo in the sits of the week, right? And you put Kittle. It's a snow game. You kind of anyone that's throwing
McCaffrey season cousin.
It could be, yeah. We saw, him and James Cook, right? And then Josh Allen's gonna be running a lot. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a lot of movement on the ground. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not sitting Kittle, you know?
Yeah.
I understand your take, but I'm not sitting Kittle.
You
But
probably obviously are not sitting Kittle, but
you're probably not sitting any of these 3 tight ends. But we're just saying like temper expectations, like, and we're giving reasons as to why.
Mm.
Let me ask you this: you have Kittle, and you picked up Taysom Hill off waivers. Who do you start this week?
Taysom Hill, baby. I'm going to Taysom Hill.
You gotta be
Quiz,
crazy.
army, knife, machine, whatever you want to call him, bruh. Freaking robot. Man does it all. I'm going Taysom.
All right. Well, you heard it here from BBTB. Anyways, let's move on to the bonus sits of the week. My bonus sit is very easy, very obvious. All the Jaguars running backs. Tank Bigsby, ETN, whoever else, Dearness Johnson, whoever else is there. Obviously, you're not starting that guy, but they have not been good. They're sharing the workload. They're going to be playing probably from behind, honestly, against the Texans. And the Texans' run defense is not bad at all. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So a good defense, playing from behind, sharing the ball between 2 players. It just don't start. Even if one of them sits and the other one's the starter. We saw ETN with no Tank Bigsby last week, or not last week. They were on bye last week, but we saw ETN with no Tank Bigsby by himself against Detroit and got, nothing. Obviously against a strong Detroit defense. Houston's run defense has been very good, and now he's splitting the workload with Tank Bigsby. It's going to be even less fantasy points. Try to find someone else to start. Do not start a Jaguars running back. If you're desperate and you have to, you better pray a lot that
not
whoever
start
you're
a
starting,
Jaguars running back.
that whoever you're starting gets a touchdown somehow, some way. But yeah, you're trying very hard to look away. I think the only player I might start a Jaguars running back over is any of the Broncos running backs, because I hate Javonte Effuls. He sucks. On Monday night,
watch him just have a game. Just
he probably will, because he's just like that. Anyways, BBTV, give us your bonus sit so we can end on MFBs.
Okay, so look. If y'all remembered my discussion with the Hoodleys, with Chemo and everything, I literally said as soon as Zach Moss was placed on a season-ending injury on IR, I literally said Chase Brown is like Joe Mixon, bro. And I said I would trade CD Lamb for Chase Brown, and I've been right ever since. Okay. Chase Brown has been an absolute dog on a tear. But this week, it ain't it. All right. Chase Brown's my sit of the week. Okay.
Crazy.
All right. So just letting you know, just this week, though. Chase Brown will be fine for the rest of the season. Just this week. How do I know? Just because I know. Give me a second. He's not loading.
He's doing some calculations on his machine. Yep. You can hear it.
I call it calculus. But anyway. So what you got? Sure. Nick Chubb scored 2 tutties last week in the snow. All that. There's going to be a passing game. I have this game being a passing game. I don't have Chase Brown. Like, you're going to start Chase Brown for sure. But do not expect high of Chase Brown. I don't see him punching in a tutty. He could, but I don't see him punching in a tutty. I don't think he's going to get his rush attempts. I don't, like, he might get like low double digits, high single digits. I'm sitting Chase Brown just for this week.
Brother, do not sit Chase Brown. All right. That fool gets so many targets each game. He had 7 targets before the bye against the Chargers. He had 11 targets against Baltimore, 5 against the Raiders, and 27 rush attempts against the Raiders, by the way, on those
Just this week. Every week in, week out, he's an automatic, like, brother, he gonna finish top 5, bro. Just this week, though.
All right, bro. I don't know if I agree with this one, but yeah, this is a very interesting one, but not as interesting as MFB's sit this week. Lamar
sit
Jackson.
The number 1 player in fantasy. Would you ever sit the number 1 player in fantasy? Right?
You're gonna sit Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson, or Bryce Young,
brother. I'm playing Lamar Jackson. I would not. If I lose with the Lamar Jackson dud, bruh, then I lost with the number 1 player in fantasy. Like, I can't. if I lose with Bryce Young and I could add Lamar Jackson at
Look,
QB,
I,
I'm losing
I
my shit.
I understand the reasoning behind it, and they played against Pittsburgh. Has been the number one worst matchup for quarterbacks in fantasy in normal 4-point scoring format. But and he had a dud game against Pittsburgh. That was his defensive minded game. Philadelphia's been playing good defense. The Eagles have really stepped up, but I this is a crazy take. If he gets less than, I think Lamar Jackson only really like duds if he gets less than like, I don't know,
15.
16. I'll say 16, less than 16 points is a dud for him because
Yeah.
we've seen him get 30. We've seen him get almost 35 twice this year. He's averaging probably like 27 fantasy points, uh, you know, each week. So yeah,
He's look, bro. If the passing game is not open, this man is using his legs.
yeah,
Like he's using his legs. Like I don't like.
he has so many weapons.
I don't see it, bro.
Look, this will be
This
crazy.
this would be genuinely crazy.
I'll have to give MFB some props.
Number one player sit is crazy to me. What?
Look,
Yeah.
like we said, guys, when we say sit this player, we don't actually mean like go find someone else. They're going to not perform. Obviously, you're going to start Lamar Jackson, but the idea is that we're calling a bad game for these guys. Sits, and we're calling good games for the starts. So you do what you want with the information. If you have alternatives to these guys, maybe you take them. If you don't, if you like our reasoning, and you follow it, if you're on the fence, maybe take our advice. If not, you probably go with it.
If you're on the fence, join the Discord. Very simple. We replied pretty quickly too.
Yeah, we had a bunch of questions today about tight end starts and things like that. So yeah, join the Discord. It's in the description. Let us know. Give us your questions. We'll answer them for you. But that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully, MLB will be back. If not, then we're just gonna kick him off the podcast forever.
Yeah.
See you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.